Is it true? And because when you go to spar someone in the gym, so you're not allowed to record it, because if I was allowed, I was going to pause the video. And I'm happy because nobody can say that I'm lying. So it's true.
There you go. That's
He's like he's like a middleweight, do you know what I mean? Like a sort of not an.
It began as nothing more than gym talk, the kind of rumor that bounces off the walls of boxing gyms until it grows legs of its own. But this one had weight. According to insiders, Martin Bakole didn't just put Dillian Whyte down in sparring, he wiped him out. And it wasn't some flash knockdown a fighter can laugh off later.
Uppercut, left hook, jab. All of them, I give them a hard time with the jab. I always keep this one for the fight.
It was a full-blown collapse behind closed doors. Bakole himself has said gym rules stopped footage from leaking, but his body language whenever the story comes up tells its own truth. In boxing circles, whispers like this don't fade. They spread, they stick, and they shape how fighters are seen. Those
He stopped his hip with a body shot, fought for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then he continued sparring.
present say Whyte never saw the punch coming, and when it landed the effect was devastating. Veteran trainer Billy Nelson is even rumored to have confirmed privately that Whyte wasn't just buzzed, he was doubled over, left gasping for air for minutes after a vicious body shot. That kind of punishment leaves more than bruises, it leaves doubts. According to those same whispers, Bakole...
I guarantee you his head's going to be like, oh shit.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. How many rounds is it?
He didn't hold back. He threw the shot with fight night intent. And the fear is that if Whyte gets cracked again under the lights, his head will instantly replay that spar. UFC commentator Joe Rogan, never one to stay quiet on fight psychology.
Payday takes a clean shot in a...
Knocked him out in the first round. He hit him with a left hook and then a right hand as he was going down. Like, Payday is a monster. So he was...
Poured fuel on the fire during his podcast. He painted the picture clearly. The moment Whyte eats a clean shot in a real fight, memories of Bakole's demolition could come rushing back. Rogan's verdict, in an 8-rounder, one well-timed punch might be enough to shatter Whyte.
Dillian, it was a couple of years ago. It's going to be interesting to see how much that Dillian Whyte has left. And is the...
Mentally. He described the old Whyte as a fighter from a couple of years ago. The wording mattered. That Whyte may already be gone. And for Rogan, sparring scars like Bakole's knockout never truly vanish. They linger like ghosts, waiting to reappear under bright lights. Tyson Fury has only added to the intrigue.
Whether he's in form.
What probably surprised, well no, probably what surprised me more than anything was the confidence that he had. He was getting it with me. I was world champion at that point. And this young man.
While never outright declaring Whyte may finished, his choice of words speaks volumes. Fury often refers to Whyte in the past tense was dangerous, was tough. That subtle shift suggests a fighter eroded by years of punishment, with the Bakole session another nail in the coffin. Johnny Nelson, the former cruiserweight champion turned analyst, views things from another angle. He isn't fixated on Whyte's decline so much as he is fascinated by Moses Itauma's mentality. For Nelson, the standout isn't a single knockout or highlight reel moment, but the way
for Moses, I think it's a very good time to fight Dillian. He's had a couple of years out the ring. But, make no mistakes, Dillian Whyte is a massive puncher to head and body. I know he's taking it very serious. I'm speaking to Ty Mitchell, who's in training camp with him. And looking forward to the fight. It's a big step up for Moses because he hasn't really fought anybody on Dillian's level. The old Dillian, it was a couple of years ago. It's going to be interesting.
Sparring, with zero hesitation. He recalls young lions stepping into the ring with seasoned champions and going straight at them. No feeling out process, no cautious respect. In boxing, that isn't arrogance. It's danger. And those who witnessed Itauma sparring with Whyte saw exactly that. A teenager testing how much punishment a veteran could take. Nelson's admiration for that fearlessness is obvious. In his view, such confidence can break an opponent mentally before the opening bell. If Whyte struggled with it in the privacy of sparring, Nelson wonders what will happen under the lights. With the crowd roaring and the pressure doubled, there's no hiding place on fight night. Fury's breakdown of Itauma versus Whyte balances both sides. He
establishes himself, so we'll just wait and see, but it's exciting.
What do you make of Itauma versus Dillian Whyte?
It's a good fight. Dillian likes to fight. He'll have a tear up.
Yeah.
You know, you can't test this man to go runners. You know, he'll fight anybody and everybody. So with Dillian doing that, you think, you know what? You know, it's a good fight, good testing.
Acknowledges Whyte's raw power, but sows doubt over his conditioning, timing, and durability. For Itauma, the timing couldn't be more perfect. With the Bakole story still echoing through gyms, this fight gives him a chance to make rumor reality and turn whispers into headlines. Nelson pushes the point even further, hinting that Whyte may already be carrying psychological baggage too heavy to shake. If Itauma starts fast, fearless, and sharp, the Bakole ghost might not just haunt Whyte, it could finish him. In boxing, the word gatekeeper carries weight. It isn't a compliment. A gatekeeper isn't feared like a contender. He's the man young lions test themselves against. And in Dillian Whyte's case, the label feels more real than
everything, because he knows it's last chance saloon for him. He needs the victory here. So, look, we find out just how good Moses Itauma is, I think, on the 16th of August when he boxes Dillian Whyte, because I think he wins it and wins it in style. But everyone they put in front of him so far, he's just dismantled. I think this
ever. Inactivity, sparring rumors, and growing questions about his durability have all shifted how the boxing world sees him. Johnny Nelson still praises Whyte's willingness to fight anyone anytime, but grit alone can't hide the truth. He's now the benchmark for the next generation. Moses Itauma isn't stepping into the ring to survive. He's stepping in to send a message. If Whyte falls here, whispers about him being past his best won't just grow louder, they'll be cemented. If he wins, maybe the sparring talk finally dies. Spencer Oliver isn't hedging his bets. He calls it outright. Moses wins, and wins in style. His confidence isn't built on hype, but on months of chatter from insiders who've seen Itauma up close. Young, powerful, fearless, and unscarred by the brutal spars that often leave.
There's the importance of this fight. I mean, what it means to him in his career. So, you know, it's all about now going out now, and it's like all about bullets and guns.
Fighters carrying mental baggage. Whyte, by contrast, bears those scars, physical and psychological, from nights when things didn't go his way behind closed doors. Oliver goes further, predicting not just victory but a statement win that launches Itauma toward a world title run. Respected trainer Buddy McGirt takes a different angle, but with the same urgency. For him, this fight is do or die. In his own colorful way, he speaks of bullets, guns, and guts, the language of high-stakes combat. He's heard the whispers too, and he knows Moses is training like a man one performance away from becoming a household name. Whyte, meanwhile, isn't just fighting Itauma. He's fighting the mental shadow of that rumored Bakole knockout. McGirt warns that if Moses keeps the pace high, Whyte will have to reach into reserves he hasn't touched in years. And if those reserves are gone, the younger man will take everything from him. Gareth A. Davies, one of Britain's most...
You know, I've always said to him, you will be a world champion one day. And maybe this is Dillian's moment as well to prove that he's still got it in his system, and that this is... he hasn't gone here for the, whatever they're calling it, the 2 million payday or whatever, how much he is getting for the fight.
Respected boxing journalists balances praise with provocation. He calls Moses a future world champion, but slips in a pointed comment about Whyte's £2 million payday. Is this fight about legacy or a final cash-out? In UK boxing culture, that question stings. Fighters who step in for money alone usually leave on the wrong end of a beating. Behind the scenes, many point to Whyte's long layoff, his patchy form, and those persistent sparring stories, as proof he's no longer the fighter who once went toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua or Joseph Parker. For Itauma, the fight is more than just another step forward. It's a chance to confirm what insiders like Davies have been hinting at for years, that he's the next big thing in heavyweight boxing. Beat Whyte, and it's not just a win, it's a changing of the guard moment. What must Dillian Whyte do to survive? In the words of...
Very difficult fight for him. It's a very difficult fight for him. You know, he can't afford to bite on Itauma's triggers and feints. He's got to land something early to get some respect off of Moses as well. And it's called the body snatcher. I think he's got to dig that body. He's got to try and take away the sharpness from Itauma.
Dave Coldwell. He has to earn Moses Itauma's respect early. That's the polite way of saying he needs to land something big enough to make the young lion hesitate. In boxing psychology, early success changes everything. Without it, the prospect grows bolder with every round. Coldwell points to the body as Whyte's best target. It isn't just tactical, it's survival. Slow Itauma down before he finds his rhythm. But there's risk in that approach. If Whyte D goes to the body and gets countered clean, all the doubts about his sharpness swing immediately in Moses' favor. Insiders say Itauma has been drilling counter body shots relentlessly in camp, knowing veterans will look to sap his speed. With the Bakole sparring knockout still haunting Whyte D's reputation, fans will be watching closely to see whether he can impose himself physically or whether another fearless youngster flips the script. Peter Fury frames the fight in classic terms: experience versus speed, guile versus ferocity. On paper, Whyte D has the size, strength, and history, but fights aren't fought on paper.
It's a good fight to make. Dillian Whyte's got the experience. He's also, he can punch, he's strong, he's a big unit, but can he negate the speed, the power and the ferocity of this young heavyweight coming? And he gives angles, he's a good boxer as well. So that's the thing. You've got experience against somebody who's up and coming that hasn't been tested yet because he's so sharp. Negate the speed, the power and the ferocity of this young heavyweight coming, and he gives angles, he's a good boxer as well. So that's the thing. You've got experience against somebody who's up and coming that hasn't been tested yet because he's so sharp, so deadly with his punch.
Question: can Whyte negate Moses' speed, power, and ferocity? Cuts to the heart of the matchup. Veterans often try to nullify youth by slowing the pace, making it messy, forcing clinches. But Itauma isn't a one-dimensional brawler. He uses footwork, angles, and timing. Insiders say that's exactly how Bakole exploited Whyte D in sparring, timing him between steps. Fury's open respect for Itauma's boxing IQ is telling. Speed and power are one thing. When combined with intelligence and hunger, they become a nightmare for any fading veteran. Dave Allen keeps it blunt: inactivity is the real killer. Whyte D may have the experience and the power, but fight sharpness can't be simulated in the gym. And when sparring stories are already circulating, the lack of rhythm becomes a glaring red flag.
Dillian Whyte's not been active at Itauma, so I'm making Itauma my favourite based on that, but Dillian Whyte is experienced, he can punch. No result would surprise me, but I would go with him.
Allen gives Itauma the edge not because of hype, but because of momentum. Moses is active, confident, and unscarred by the grind of heavyweight wars. Whyte D, on the other hand, has been through battles, and every war takes something you never get back. In this division, once an opponent senses you've lost that edge, they don't hand it back, they take the whole fight from you. When Itauma and Whyte D finally step under the lights, it's more than a bout, it's a collision of timelines. On one side stands an unbeaten powerhouse, confident and unbroken, backed by whispers that he's already handled Whyte D in sparring. On the other, a seasoned warrior with the power to end the fight in one shot, but carrying the weight of inactivity, age, and damaging rumors. If Moses wins, it's the arrival of a new force. One insider says, describing a fighter already spoken of in hushed, almost fearful tones. For Whyte D, an upset would rewrite the story, silence the gossip, and prove there's still venom left in his gloves. The mental edge may belong to Itauma, but the experience lies with Whyte. That balance makes the fight dangerous for both. Insiders agree the pace will decide it. If Moses starts fast, Whyte D could unravel. If Whyte D drags him into a slower, heavier fight, his power could flip the script. This isn't just another heavyweight contest. It's either the passing of the torch, or one last stand from a man who's been counted out before. The question is simple: will the fearless young lion roar into the big time, or will the old warrior remind